hold on to your hats, because the buzz around the Maple Leafs is heating up. With the trade deadline looming, whispers of a blockbuster deal are swirling, and you won't want to miss the impact this could have on our playoff ambitions. Picture this: a game-changing player that not only fills a gap, but also drives the team towards that elusive Stanley Cup. As fans, we've waited long enough. It's time for the Leafs to make a move that gets us all talking. Darren Dreger, a well-known NHL insider, recently hinted that the Toronto Maple Leafs are gearing up for a significant trade before the March 7 deadline. As a passionate fan of this team, I can't help but feel a mix of excitement and anxiety. Every day, new names pop up in the rumor mill. Brock Nelson, Dylan Cozens, Braden Shen, and even Erik Karlsson. These are just a few players linked to our beloved Leafs. It feels like this organization is on the verge of making some serious noise, and I'm here for it. But what does this all mean for the team's future? Dreger believes the Leafs are one of the teams to watch, and that certainly raises the stakes. If the organization decides to go all in, we could see some blockbuster trades involving players like Shen, Brandon Tanev, and Jamie Oleksiak. Just imagine how these players could elevate our lineup. Shen, for instance, is an elite two-way center who not only scores but also creates plays and excels in penalty-killing situations. He's a Stanley Cup winner, and we could use that experience. Tanev, on the other hand, would bring some much-needed stability and grit to our bottom six, enhancing our offensive potential. And let's not forget Oleksiak, who could provide a solid defensive partnership with Morgan Rielly. These are the types of players we need to bolster our chances in the playoffs. But this comes at a cost. Trading away Fraser Minton, Easton Cowan, and our top draft picks would be a heavy price to pay. And honestly, it gives me pause. What if we make a big move and still get bounced in the first round? That's a haunting thought for any Leafs fan. Alternatively, the team could take a more understated approach, targeting smaller, reliable pieces like Jake Evans, Ryan Donato, Michael Kesselring, or Mathieu Olivier. While these players might not have the game-changing impact that someone like Shen would bring, they could fill essential gaps in our roster without breaking the bank. But does playing it safe truly reflect the commitment we owe to ourselves and the franchise? I'm torn here. A lot hinges on factors like Kalle Järnkrok's health and whether other teams are willing to negotiate. General Manager Brad Treliving has his hands full, and it's a delicate balancing act. But here's the real question. If Toronto is genuinely committed to ending our 58-year Stanley Cup drought, shouldn't we be willing to take some risks? Every decision made right now reverberates through the fan base. We're craving a championship, and these moves could either propel us to glory or set us back. The anticipation is palpable. I can feel the weight of our hopes and dreams resting on these choices, and it's both thrilling and terrifying. So, what do you think, Leafs Nation? Are we on the right path here? Should we dive in and make a splash, or should we play it cool and look for those under-the-radar additions? I genuinely want to hear your thoughts. Drop your opinions down below in the comments. Your insights matter, and I'm excited to engage in this debate with you all. Mitch Marner has fans of the Toronto Maple Leafs dreaming big as we look ahead to the playoffs. Last night, in the opening game of the Four Nations face-off between Canada and Sweden, Marner showcased why he's now considered one of the decisive players in the NHL. That overtime winner he scored? It wasn't just a game winner. It was a statement. Coach John Cooper couldn't help but rave about Marner's confidence, stating, "That kid oozes confidence. It's hard to argue with him after seeing that performance." But here's the thing. Cooper was quick to dismiss any notion that Marner suddenly found his confidence with that goal. He emphasized that Marner entered the game self-assured and left it just as confident. That's a telling point, especially when you break down that intense moment. The game was a roller coaster, with Canada jumping out to a 2-0 lead before Sweden rallied to equalize. In those final moments, any team could have snatched the victory. When Marner found the back of the net, it didn't just seal the win for Team Canada. It could very well ripple through the Maple Leafs season. Marner's performance could be the catalyst that fans have been yearning for. What stood out to Cooper was Marner's mentality under pressure. He reflected, "I don't know if you're saying that as, it's a goal to build confidence. I thought it was an important player making a big play at a big moment." That's precisely it. Marner has the ability to shine in critical situations, particularly in overtime, and that's why he's so pivotal to Team Canada's success. His contributions are the reason fans are hopeful as we inch closer to the postseason. Now, for Maple Leafs fans, there's a bittersweet irony here. This isn't the Marner they remember from last year's playoffs, is it? Last night, he showed balance and poise under pressure, qualities that have often been questioned. He took control when it mattered most, proving he can be a big player. But can he replicate that kind of performance repeatedly in the playoffs? It's tempting to get swept up in the hype of Marner's flashy plays, but it's that quiet confidence he exudes that sets him apart. What was particularly impressive was how he didn't hesitate in overtime. He calmly skated toward the goalie and delivered a perfectly placed shot. No fanfare, just pure skill. As the Four Nations face-off continues, that goal will remind fans why Marner is one of the most dangerous players on the ice. His ability to rise to the occasion in high-pressure scenarios is precisely why coaches like John Cooper believe he can be a game-changer. If last night's performance is any indication, we might see plenty more big moments from Marner throughout this tournament. But here's the million-dollar question for Maple Leafs fans. Can he carry that momentum into the postseason? We're all hoping for that. But let's not forget the weight of expectations. Marner has always had the talent, but the real question is whether he has the mindset to match it when the stakes are at their highest. The playoffs can be a different beast altogether, and we know the scrutiny that comes with it in Toronto. As we dive deeper into the season, it's crucial to analyze how these moments can shape the Maple Leafs' future. Do you think last night's performance was a turning point for Marner? I'm honestly torn. He has the skills and the confidence, but will that translate into postseason success? And let's talk about the implications of these performances. Fans are clamoring for playoff glory, and Marner's growth could be the key to unlocking that long-awaited success. The weight of the franchise's history hangs heavy on our shoulders, and all we want is for this team to break through. So, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Can Marner sustain this level of play when it counts the most? I want to hear your opinions down below. Let's get that conversation going. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all things Maple Leafs. Hit that notification bell to get all the latest updates. Together, let's embrace the excitement of the upcoming playoffs and keep those dreams alive.